blood-curdling scream. And that's how it begins. They say this movie is so terrifying. It allegedly caused real deaths, a cursed village, restless spirits, a suicide season, and a girl who can see death coming. Meet Xiaomei. She's not your average college student. She has a gift, or maybe a curse. When she looks at someone, she can see the exact moment they're going to die. Not a feeling, not a guess, an exact prediction. And because of that, she lives every day in fear. Every face she sees is just a countdown clock. One morning, she's heading to class with her friend. In the elevator, they meet Professor Naya. The doors are about to close, when suddenly, a disheveled, middle-aged man rushes forward. He grabs the elevator door, begging, "Please, save me." On his palm, a strange symbol, dark, almost branded into his skin. The atmosphere freezes. A male student pulls him away. Everyone assumes he's mentally unstable. End of story. Right? Wrong. That night, Xiaomei is studying with friends. Suddenly, chaos outside, screaming. They rush to the balcony. The same man is standing on the edge of a building, ready to jump. Everyone panics, except Xiaomei, because she sees no death sign on him, which means he's not supposed to die tonight. But then he jumps. Silence. Impact. Dead. And for the first time ever, she was wrong. As the crowd gathers, she notices something. Professor Naya, panicked, running back to her office. That's when Xiaomei knows this wasn't random. She confronts her, questions her, presses her, but Naya says nothing, just one thing: leave. That night, Xiaomei has a nightmare, a rice field, a wooden cross, Naya, and the dead man, tied together. She wakes up in a cold sweat, calls Naya, no answer. The next morning, she learns something disturbing. Naya took leave, and the dead man, they're from the same village, a place called Lemutuk, a remote Southeast Asian village, known for one thing. During harvest season, people commit suicide. For no reason. Over and over. And over again. Most people would stay away. Xiaomei doesn't. She packs her bags, grabs her friends, and heads to Lemutuk. Big mistake. The village feels wrong immediately. Outsiders must park at the entrance. A shop owner warns them, "You shouldn't be here during harvest season. If you enter now, you may not leave alive." They ignore him. Of course they do. Inside, the villagers are celebrating the harvest ritual, but the vibe isn't festive. It's tense, cold, controlled. A villager orders them to remove their shoes, wash away the evil they brought from outside. Then, the village chief's daughter steps forward, dead serious. During the annual ritual, you must not wander. You must not speak carelessly, or disaster will follow. And right as she says that, a young man rides into the square on a bicycle, full speed. He crashes directly into a board covered in sharp spikes, blood everywhere. But the villagers, no reaction. They just keep working. Like this happens every day. And the worst part? Xiaomei didn't see it coming. For the second time, her ability failed. So now the question is, what kind of place can hide death itself? Is the village cursed? Or is something controlling it? And trust me, this is where things start getting darker. After settling into the village, Xiaomei's friend finds something on the table. An old psychological outreach flyer. That's when they realize why Professor Naya returned after 20 years. She didn't come back for family. She came back to treat the villagers. Because the suicides, they've been increasing every year. Anyone, at any time. No warning, no pattern, just death. That afternoon, Xiaomei and her friends are invited to observe one of the counseling sessions. But as they walk, the friend trailing behind suddenly freezes. A sharp ringing sound pierces her ears, like metal scraping against bone. She feels it. Someone walking behind her, matching her steps. She turns. Nothing there. By nightfall, she's not the same. Her expression becomes distant, empty. She's holding a fruit knife, standing still, and behind her, a shadow glides across the wall. Slow, unnatural. Suddenly, she presses the blade toward herself. Xiaomei rushes in just in time, stops her. Another life almost taken. Almost. Half an hour before the village counseling assembly, Xiaomei asks her to come along. She refuses, says she's fine, locks herself in the room, scrolling on her phone. And then, something happens. Something she can't explain. She bursts out of the room in terror. The others see her running, but what she sees is worse. She feels hands around her neck, a woman, strangling her. But when Xiaomei and the others catch up, they don't see a ghost. They see her hanging from the ceiling. They manage to pull her down, barely alive. But before anyone can process it, she bolts back inside, like she's being called. She grabs her phone. In the center of the room, a little boy is sitting there, completely still, not blinking. Xiaomei forces herself to step closer, and in the next second, the boy collapses, his mouth sewn shut. The next morning, the villagers bury the boy. No police, no investigation, just ritual. As the body is lowered into the ground, the boy's grandmother crawls toward the grave for one last goodbye, and then, from inside the dirt, throat. A woman's hand bursts out, grabs the corpse, holds it tight. People scream, but just as quickly, everything goes silent, like it never happened. Meanwhile, Xiao Mei's friend notices something horrifying. On her palm, a symbol. The exact same mark the man in the elevator had. She scrubs it, washes it, scratches at her skin. It doesn't fade. Panicking, she plunges her face into water, trying to clear her head. But suddenly, it's like something is holding her down, forcing her to drown. She thrashes, fighting for air, and barely pulls herself free. At the same time, the village chief's daughter is arguing with her father. Why won't you stop this curse? People are dying every year. But the chief remains calm, cold. He says something chilling. Every year, a certain number must die. Only then will next year's harvest be blessed, so the families can eat. This isn't random. It's sacrifice. Calculated. Accepted. The daughter smashes a glass in rage. What's the point of living if this is the cost? She kneels to clean the shards. And then, that sound again. High-pitched, piercing. Straw falls from the ceiling. She feels something behind her. Breathing. Close. She turns. Nothing. Then a scream. Her father runs in and sees his daughter hurting herself. The curse has reached his own house. The next morning, the entire village gathers around the fields. Harvest ritual, chants, smoke, offerings, and suddenly, in the crowd, the old grandmother sees something. Something that makes her eyes widen in terror. And that's when we realize this curse doesn't just cause death. It chooses who dies next. Eyes filled with rage. The ghost. The grandmother suddenly screams, grabs a sickle, and in front of everyone, slits her own throat. Silence. Blood spills into the soil. And once again, the harvest drinks. That night, Xiao Mei's friend completely breaks down. She tries to escape the village. She runs and runs and runs, but every road leads her back to the same house, like the village itself won't let her leave. Terrified, she returns inside. Meanwhile, Glasses reviews the footage they recorded earlier, and then he sees something impossible. In the video, the ghost is clearly visible, standing behind the grandmother, forcing her hand. He blinks, thinks it's a glitch, but when he looks up, the ghost is standing in front of him. A glass bottle drops, shatters, and what happens next is the most violent moment yet. Thankfully, Xiao Mei bursts in just in time, but from her perspective, her friend is attacking himself, not being attacked. That's when Xiao Mei realizes the curse doesn't just kill you, it makes you kill yourself. Desperate for answers, Xiao Mei confronts Professor Naya, and finally, the truth begins to surface. The curse was never a secret. Everyone knew, but Naya believed it was mass hysteria. 20 years ago, she left the village to study psychology. She promised she would return and prove the curse wasn't real, but now, after everything she's seen, even she starts to doubt science. That same night, Naya wakes up. Hanging bodies surround her room. She turns and sees the man who jumped from the building, staring at her. Before she can move, the ghost appears behind her, wraps a rope around her neck, and lifts her into the air. By morning, Professor Naya is dead, and hope dies with her. Shattered by grief, Xiao Mei tries to numb the pain with sleeping pills, but then, that piercing ringing sound returns. From under the bed, a straw figure crawls out, a scarecrow. It grabs the pills, forces them into her mouth. She collapses, and in that moment, she sees the truth. 40 years ago, the village suffered a devastating drought. Crops failed, families starved. The village chief believed it was punishment from the gods, so he made a decision, a sacrifice. A 15-year-old girl was chosen, beaten to death, her body turned into a scarecrow, placed in the center of the fields. Her mother watched helplessly, and before taking her own life, she cursed the village. The land will become fertile, but every harvest season, those who eat from it will die. As the mother took her last breath, the girl's spirit transformed, not into peace, but into vengeance. And for decades, she's been collecting what she's owed. Xiao Mei survives, barely. She tells her friends everything, but suddenly, one of them grabs a knife, runs outside in madness. The others chase her. The door slams shut behind Xiao Mei. The ghost appears, throws a scarf over her head, lifts her into the air, defying gravity. Outside, villagers hear the ringing sound again. The ghost appears behind Glasses, rope in hand, ready to hang him. At the last possible second, Xiao Mei breaks free, saves him. The entire village collapses into chaos. People screaming, crying, begging. Xiao Mei confronts the current village chief. Your ancestors started this. They killed her for a better harvest. If you want this to end, you need to ask for forgiveness. The chief understands. Without a word, he walks into the grain storage, sets it on fire, stands inside. As the crops burn, as he burns, ash fills the sky, and for the first time in decades, silence. The curse appears broken. Time passes. Xiao Mei and her friends return to school. Life slowly feels normal again. Months go by. Harvest season arrives. This time, no deaths, no signs. Peace. Or so they think. That night, Xiao Mei's friend stands in her room, holding a knife, pressed against her throat, smiling, eyes empty. The ringing sound echoes again, and we realize the curse was never tied to the land. It was tied to the bloodline, and revenge isn't finished yet.